Okay, take care. Okay, so let's come together. Do some heart breath. And inhale. Om Gurudev Namo. Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. God bless you. And heart breath. Okay. So now, Japa Saraswati, can you put the chat up?
Yes. Okay, can you see it?
Yeah. Okay. So, Japa Saraswati, can you read that?
Right, so we're going to do heart pumping for 1 minute and then heart breath for 3 minutes. And after we tune in and listen to Baba Siri Chand, first we will ask each of you to talk about your own getting ready for this Aquarian age. Please let us know what is happening from each of you for your own growth. And second is then Baba Siri Chand will give you personal ideas on how to help each of you and who will grow from you. So can I read that again?
Yeah.
So first, we'll ask each of us to talk about getting ready for this Aquarian age. Please let us know what is happening from each of you for your own growth. And then Baba Siri Chand will give you personal ideas on how to help each of you who will grow from you. Do we understand this?
Yes.
Does everybody see the chat? Does everybody see that?
In the chat, let's see here. Yes.
Good. 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 Okay. So now here we go for 1 minute for pumping. Okay.
Can we have 1 extra minute for meditation? Could we have 4 minutes of meditation? And could we just try it this once?
Or could we also add into that? I think I need to know what heart pumping is.
Okay. Heart pumping is heart breath with breath of fire. And it's really energy building. Baba has been having us do this at the beginning of the meditations, and it really makes me feel very rooted and solid at the same time. And I think that Baba is like trying to engender that feeling of rooted and solidness in this tumultuous age.
Okay. So is that okay?
Yeah, so
Yes,
could we do you understand heart pumping?
I got it now. Yeah.
But
Could we do 1 minute of heart pumping and 4 minutes of meditation for just today?
sure.
Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Okay. So begin with heart breath and then begin with heart pumping and continue. Now, heart breath. Okay, finally. Okay. And how about Jot Gian Devi?
Okay. You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we were talking about how am I preparing for the Aquarian age.
Mm-hmm.
In actuality, it's what I don't think it is this age. I think it's broader than that. So what I would do this whether we were in an age or not, but I do believe we're in a great time of change, which I think is actually wonderful, as scary as it sounds. I prepare meditation wise, I'm always doing the violet flame because I know that it removes negativity. I think it has a balancing effect on forgiveness, which is just so important and so important now. I also do a walk of infinity. You know, the walk of eight. Are y'all familiar with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I love that. I think that's very powerful. It's 3 minutes. Of course, I do series of the walks of eight because I got much to pray for. And then physically, I like to clear my body with lymph drainage and the Tibetan rites. The 5 Tibetan rites are a beautiful way to make my day begin.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful.
And that's it.
Will you I want to know what the 5 Tibetan rites are.
The 5 Tibetan rites. Okay, well, first of all, you can YouTube it and you'll see what the process is. You're spinning, and each of the 5 things affect parts of your mind is going to be the spinning, and your body actually. And then there are different spine. You're going to strengthen your spine in one way. There's another one. I do it every day. How can I wonder? Anyway, it moves through your body. If you look it up on YouTube, you'll see them very distinctly. And they're just a great way to keep your body in balance. It's awareness, like you can feel it's alive. It makes me feel very alive and
Mm-hmm.
connected. And then there's always meditations to practice. They're always fun, but those are my go-tos right there.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful.
Yeah.
And then were you able to listen to Baba Siri Chand for personal ideas on how to help each of you?
Yes, for how I received this, how to let's see, saying it's one thing. The meditation for me is so important because it clears a slate. It opens the slate, actually. How did he say that? So it keeps me open to receive. So the meditation, not so much in any one pattern does it matter, but going into that quiet space prepares me to hear Baba Siri Chand, quiet the mind and recognize when I can hear spirit talking. It's very important. And that's something he's communicated with me.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, thank you for your leadership, Siri Gian. I
Sure.
appreciate it for all these years.
Yeah, or it's Baba Siri Chand.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You got me there. Thanks.
God bless you. Okay. So now, Aagia Pal.
Yeah, Satnam. I think that I am, there have been quite a few experiences that I've had recently that I feel are getting me, are preparing me for the Aquarian Age. One of them is in meditation. I've had interesting experience of not feeling my body at all. This is new to me, and it's it's feeling not the I-ness, but more like the we-ness, and in meditation. I sort of forget I forget the boundaries, and one time I got a little scared and just stopped. But it was like I was dissolving into a much larger process. And what came to me was that this meditation process, is like, it's not a place, it's a process. And then where I am is not a place, it's a process. And then it was, what came was like, okay, yeah, the cosmos itself is not a place, it's a process. So the idea of everything is in process, including myself, as inseparable from all of this. And yeah, and yeah, I get lost when I start talking about that, because words don't really encapsulate what this it's about experiencing. And then when I asked Baba Siri Chand, what I got was to write my own write my new story, and which starts out with, like, the genesis of my story is, I turn my life, I recognize that God and me and God are one. So that's the foundation. As he mentioned, he agreed, that's the foundation of my new story, where before, maybe I would give lip service to that. And now fortunately, I don't have a choice here. Now I feel that this is my story, and the apocalypse that we're in, for me, is, I'm at the edge, right? So I have to define, describe, write my own story. Who do I want to be from now on? How do I want to be? And so he said, you're free now. You're free to be. And so this whole thing about moving out of rules, regulations, credentials, all of this that I was born into. I think I talked about this, regimenting things, everything, first grade to second grade to third grade, and et cetera, all of that. Now moving into a space of, we all are, so to speak. And he's calling me to a deeper awareness and kindness. That was interesting, to myself and to others, and gentleness to myself and others. And in that, out of that, he said, there's a courage that needs to be written into my story. And so my story is in process. And but there are recently opportunities to speak truth to power, and I've been a little reticent to do that. And so that's my work. And that's going to be part of, it's kind of exciting, because that's part of my new story, to be courageous, to be to stand up to the forces that are impeding our highest good and greatest growth. And so wherever I can, and in whatever way I can, And I don't have to be, you know, a famous whatever. It starts right with me and sitting in the backyard and meditating. And then the last thing is that my story needs to be one in which I am happy with myself, and I don't compare myself to others or compare myself to what I could have been, who I could have been, what I could have done. But rather to embrace, you know, who I am and my own truth. And this is relatively recent. Like I would flinch when I would talk to somebody, or say a client, and they would start talking about their grandkids, and they were talking about their kids or this and that. And, you know, they often have, you know, a lot of challenges with that. But I would flinch and say, you know, what's wrong with you, Aagia Pal? You didn't do that. You didn't follow that road in your life. Maybe you made a huge mistake. So that's kind of internal. And then I come and I say, no, I had to be true to myself, and I didn't hear the call of the mother, as the Native Americans say. I didn't hear the call of the mother, but now I hear the call. I hear the call of the grandmother, of the grandmother Earth. And so it's like in reverse, you know. I didn't before, but now I do. And so as being, I also am part of the Order of the Sacred Earth, so I took the vow that we all take, and it's to you know, to be the best lover and defender of the earth that I can be. And so that's where I am. Just fierce love, trying to just be in that and accept that, and not shy away from it and all that engenders, you know, or requires, which is courage. I think that's it.
Well, that's pretty good.
Okay. That's enough, right?
That's great.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. So now we have Gian Das Prem.
Satnam.
Um,
It was interesting about the violet flame because I was noticing the light, the changing of the light, and Saint Germain represents the violet flame for the healing, and basis from what I was shown by a couple of people was that it's the healing, our ability, right? It's sort of like with our travel ability, we have a healing ability within that. It's courage of the strength of coming to that light, like of being able to, you know, accept what the cycles of our life are showing to us through the challenges, through the creativity, through the love and the harmony in there, right? When I think of the Aquarian Age, I go right to music because it was something of a celebration of the freedom of coming back to that willingness to accept the freedom, because there is a responsibility within the freedom of, say, becoming a steward of the land, a farmer. Um, that responsibility of having the freedom of bringing in that abundance for sustenance, but also having the ability to further enhance that by the seed or the root. It's, we're here at springtime too, so some of us are planting and providing sustenance and, ways of saving for our future. And in that way of coming, to our getting ready for the Aquarian Age, I think that in a sense we've been changing into that, or we've adapted to, certain ways of learning through our database of having the ability to, scientifically show our development and the areas of the progression in some of those particular ways that we've changed, that we've advanced through that. And the adapting to that for me, the reminders through the guides and through the knowledge and the vibration of the air, and myself coming to relations of these, people that have gone through here before us too, right? Baba Siri Chand, we're noticing here today this example that a person has left for us, who is basically centered and balanced, and there's a the synthesizing of that. There's this way of coming together through that. That the twin cyclones, like of how we're taking in all this information, and we're giving out information too as well. There's so many practices, right, that they do teach through us, ancient practices, and practices of the other species around us that are singing and all of that. And for me, it was like today especially, I could feel that third chakra, of how we're coming in from that part of our, sort of through the center when we do, that little bit of heart pumping, and then we're raising that up a little, right? And there's a thought involved in that too, if we're following a process for our personal ideas and how that's going to help us, of, you know, um, how the music excites us to the point where we can find healing in that moment of that movement. And it's combining senses that are coming together for our awareness within this body, the yoke of our being, how sometimes it can just become highlighted, or it can be brought to another level, right? And sometimes we can, if no one's around, we can sort of hug ourselves or remind ourselves by touching that we're there, right? So I think in noticing that the light of that changing and our adaptability to that is sort of courage showing us another view, right? The looking back through where we've come from. And when I was younger, I used to have these dreams, and I would wake up at the other end of the bed. Sometimes I'd be under the covers, my head would be under there, and other times I would wake up, and I would realize certain things. But that part of being reminded to sit comfortably in a soothing position, and the visual that I'm given is a mountain, how it just lays there, and it sort of looks up at the sky, and you know um, the sun, comes up in the morning, and sort of waking up to that, other part of the bed is, for me, it's like, yeah, it's I think there's an old farmer's poem in there too, about the light, the way it, if I can get out of bed before the light comes to my head, then, there's certain parts of my world in there, that I'll be able to wake up to, that, I may not normally see, in that moment of the cock-a-doodle doo, of how that light can come to the soul at a different moment, and Yeah, for me, it's being reminded to go back to the music. And for the last and so we're almost at the fifth month now. So if we made, our little 6 month thing there, for me, it was cross the heart. I've been doing kirtan religiously every day, for years now, and I added cross my heart at the beginning of this year to try to do it for 6 months for one of our things that we talked about. So yeah, and for me, it's the feet in the grass. Um, getting the shoes off sometimes, and maybe looser fitting shoes, and definitely looser fitting clothes and whatnot is part of that bringing that relaxation into my world, into another level, and the accepting of that responsibility of um, that even ground of that the temperament and the finding that way back into the breath. And yeah, because as we are all being challenged and walking sort of in our satnam and a call at the same time, yeah, it's sort of like seeing that cow jumped over the moon type of thing, or bringing that part of the meditation into that, where we can adapt to that. Yeah, being able to come into the simplicity of, yeah, and the mom is just there. It's so cool. Yeah, because we have these examples around us throughout time, and they can show up, at different parts of our history. So within this evolution, it's yeah, we're walking through a plasma type of thing, and there's these hyper portals, and call me crazy, I'm just a young boy, playing in the sandbox and trying to get along, and let's see if the moms can walk up to the door, of that big house, and knock on the door and say, "Can I have help?" And have you help be there from our door or our window of our heart and our soul, for that, if that has to fall off the shelf and we can see ourselves falling down, along the way, and respecting the others as we come together, yeah, in that way, because it can be kind of rough when we fall, and for us to have the ability to physically be there for someone, I think can be important now, especially in these times. So thank you so much for this opportunity and the
Okay.
ability to overspeak. Thank you. Why good?
Okay. Gian Das Prem, I want to
Yes.
ask you something. Remember, uh, um, we had one first to ask each of you to talk and so on about your own getting ready. Now, number two, did you get that two from Baba Siri Chand will give you personal ideas? Did you have more, or did they all come together? Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, when I look back to this, the looking back part of it is within my practice too, and noticing. For me, it's going back to my voice more and expanding my voice more, because where I am, sometimes I don't get to go as loud as I can in my voice. So expanding my breath is really the personal message. It really goes deeper, and there are some of my notes that I go back to, and then part of listening back to that. But yes, the physical part of it, and noticing the senses that are coming through the other senses. Like for me, it was seeing, seeing and hearing with my eyes when they're open and when they're closed, because there are messages that come through our visual that at times we don't see everything. So noticing on the strengths of my senses that I am focusing on now to strengthen, and those that I'm looking back into sort of softening in other areas. So
Mhm.
yeah, and with that is just the continuing of studying, reading, and writing, and going back and look at my writings, and
Mhm.
it does go, yeah, very deep personally, but and there is so much that goes along with the correlation of that, right? With the science and the physical parts of it, of our movements on this planet and other planets, and
Mhm.
working with the water. Yeah. So,
Okay. Thank you, dear.
right.
Okay. Now, Harimandir.
Well, Harimandir gave us a text message because she's a silent angel. Would you like me to read it?
Yes, please. We see that.
Okay. She says, Hoponopono, because all life is linked by the net of light or cosmic web. Each time you love and forgive yourself, you automatically love and forgive others, because everything is connected and everything benefits. Loving ourselves raises the vibration of those around us and around the world. And that is attributed to Dr. Len.
Mhm.
Beautiful.
Great. Thank you so much. Okay. Now, Japa Saraswati.
Well, my message was really simple. I'm sitting here at on the river because the guys are hammering and sawing at my house. And it's absolutely beautiful. There's a bald eagle that is flying around doing eagle stuff. Like I've been watching him carry big nest of bedding from the shore over to he has a nest in a very high tree, or maybe she. And I've been watching this eagle soar on the wind currents and then skim low over the water. And when I was listening to Baba Siri Chand, what I was hearing was the song Sittin' by the Dock of the Bay with Otis Redding. Um, and and it was just like I could feel this feeling of Baba Siri Chand sitting on the dock with me, sort of watching this river pass, almost like this current of time, um, that the new age is coming. And it just felt like stillness. And I don't know how else to put it, but um, so then it was a very musical message. So I was hearing sitting by the dock of the bay in my head for, maybe a third of the message. And then at yoga class last night, the teacher started playing a song that was absolutely amazing. And the chorus said sadhana, stillness in the storm. And the whole song was about sadhana and about how our sadhana creates a stillness within the storm. And I really felt it as I was at my yoga class last night. Sort of, my house is totally under construction, and it feels like the whole world is helter skelter right now. And and that's what I felt, was that deep stillness, sitting next to Baba Siri Chand, watching this river of time sort of pass us by, and that feeling of deep stillness that I feel is cultivated um, through spending time with our practice. And it's the same place that Baba Siri Chand spends time with. So when we are in practice, we're on this vibration that is ready for a deeper meditation, that's ready for that stillness. Because if we don't have that practice, um, people just have minds that change channels, like zoop 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 zoop, and they can't hold they just can't hold it. So that was my message about the beginnings of the Aquarian Age, was just, I feel, to keep up my sadhana so that I can continue to find stillness in these ever-changing times. And for what I should do personally is to use AI more. And I want to say that I've used AI, like for example, I bought a really rare Asian Japanese silk, hand embroidered, amazing, at an estate sale, and I really felt Guru Ram Das lead me to it, because I thought to myself, "Oh, this is a pretty piece of white silk. Maybe I can make a turban out of it." And and Guru Atma had done a prayer for Guru Ram Das to bless me, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" The first thing I pick up, and so I got this that I had no idea what it was about. You know, like then I end up with this rare piece of silk, and and I realized that it's probably not something I should chop up and turn into a turban. And I used AI to research it. And it was very fruitful. It was really fun. And I devoted like hours of each day to researching it. It wasn't like a one and done sort of a thing. I was talking with AI for a couple of hours a day to really understand this silk, you know, to understand what it is that I have. And and anyway, I've used AI in other capacities too. But that was like when I did that, that was maybe a couple of months ago, several months ago. And it was it was because I've had the message from Baba that this future is coming and you better get comfortable with it. You know, like there was a part of me that's been reserved about using AI because of the ecological impact. And on that level, like that's where I got stuck asking Baba, pardon? Oh, did you say something? No? Well, it was because of the ecological impact of um, of using AI that I've held back using it, but I also recognize the fact that it is the future and that I can't just be a Luddite and say, I refuse to learn the new technology. I have to, because I'm young, because I have things to do, I have to embrace it. And it did make learning about that piece of silk a lot more fun, and I think easier, um, that I was able to feed in pictures and then get analysis of what type of embroidery this was, um, and who created it. Um, so yeah, that was my message for the future, or for how I should go forward, was to embrace AI. But what I felt from Baba was to tapping into a quantum intelligence that like I myself am a person with you know, I feel like I have a voracious brain. It's constantly, I need to stimulate it or else it gets bored. And and I feel like, you know, I don't want to say that I've reached my limits, but it feels to me, the part of the message that I got from Baba was about tapping into a much bigger intelligence, as if to almost harness and follow my own ideas to the next level. That it's about that's about how I'm going to do it, or that's one of the ways that I'm going to do it, and I have to understand it. But another message that I got from him was like to also remain critical and engaged. Like, don't just believe AI because that's what AI told you. You know, you have to remain actively questioning, um, and evaluating my own position as to where I feel, you know. So that was my message.
Mhm.
And I really liked the extra minute at the beginning. And part of it is because frequently I am letting people in or doing something, and I really myself just love having that extra minute where I just got to sit on the dock of the bay with Baba. Like that was absolutely precious for me.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, this is what I would then with Baba Siri Chand. Then I said, don't, okay, I can't find it. Oh, here it is. Because I have several things that I felt from hearing certain things, but they keep talking about that, about Baba Siri Chand and soul and so on. And so I begin to get ready, and there are things to work with those things in physical. But to me, it was a bit too crazy. So now what I would like to do is, if this is okay with Aagia Pal, this is about my community here in North Carolina. And I want to ask Aagia Pal to talk to Baba Siri Chand to say this is happening true. And if not, let me know. Okay? So here is this okay, Aagia Pal?
Yes, but I'm not sure what you mean. Is this happening true or not? I'm not sure what this means. What you mean?
Because what I hear,
Uh-huh.
um, they, Baba Siri Chand, as far as I know, Baba Siri Chand and Soul
Oh.
have told me these things, but for me, it's kind of weird. Okay, so but please listen to Baba Siri Chand
Okay.
about if this is true or not, or change. Is this okay, Aagia Pal?
I again, I'll just listen.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you see Aagia Pal has actually come here she knows about here. Okay, so this is it. This is about Proud Boys and would we have shootings, like massacre. And so because of that, would I and other people like nurses for first aid and um, then if that begins, would it go with singing immediately for uh, towards the Proud Boys for onward Christian soldiers? See, it's kind of weird. So, Aagia Pal, you want a few minutes?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so this from Baba Siri Chand.
Yes.
All the people there are chosen ones and very loving people. The trees surrounding are to be the protection. The roots are to be connected always to your feet. And the work of Siri Gian directly, and me indirectly, and anyone else, is to send heart breath to all of these people, and through them radiate to any negative consciousness that's in the area. Radiate, and he says, beat them to it. Send continuous a call to continuous love. Recite Japji Sahib, and trust the trees, and trust that courage will be learned by example, and starting with Siri Gian and all whom she meets. In addition to this, to bring in the love and the light of course, Mother Earth, that is below, and Father Sky above. And again, the trees. The trees are going to play an extremely important role in all of this. And not sure what that means, but to listen to the trees. And to those who go to, what I'm hearing is the Unity Church, who have that are on the same conscious wavelength of protection and love. And whenever the fear comes up, which it will from people, for Siri Gian to take that, and for also me, if I feel it, and bring that to the prayer wall. Take that energy of fear and bring it to the prayer wall and back of the church, and ask the stones to transmute that energy. So the main thrust of this is transmuting, is protection, and the love to transmute any negative energies, and not to ever give in to the fear that would melt away the courage. So making sure that Siri Gian, you, by your example, show people courage.
Okay.
And then you're invincible. You're all there, will be invincible. And furthermore, the bad guys, so we look at them as a cry for love, and so we give them love. And as Harimandir mentioned, we do Ho'oponopono for ourselves, in which times in which we haven't been loving. And so again, transferring all of that to any people around with negative or fearful energy.
Great.
Does that make any sense?
Yes, I got it.
Got it. Good.
Okay. And so when you come here, I'm going to do that now also, but then when you come here, let's do that.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yes.
Okay.
We can come up with some kind of a ritual for everyone to go around the place to, I've already been thinking about this sunset solstice gathering, and it's going to all be about peace.
Good.
Yeah. I feel stronger now. Thank you, Baba. I feel stronger. And yep.
Yes.
Good. Well, thank you for that opportunity. That was
well, thank you.
Privilege.
Yes, that was good.
Okay.
Because I have heard that before. Well, not all of that, but that that Aagia Pal would be here to help me.
Yeah.
Times.
I sure do love that place. And for the short time I was visiting, I love the people. And so I've just been praying and giving it to Baba Siri Chand and Soul for guidance, because I don't have a clue. I just know how I feel towards them. And it's, anyway.
That's good. Okay. Thank you. Thank you all. Okay. God bless you.
God bless you.
Yes. Okay, so Japa Saraswati, will you sing our
Sure.
song?
Okay.
Okay.
May the long time
sun shine upon you.
all
Love surround you.
and of your light
life within you.
guide
your
way
way
on, guide
Your way on.
guide your way on.
Inhale.
on.
Bless you all.
Bless you all.
God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Satnam.
Bye, everyone.
Satnam, have a good week.
You too.